What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I just wanted to tell a quick story recapping my day today, just in case any of you are having a rough day or maybe you've done something embarrassing. This will reassure you that you're not alone. And the footage in the background is just Beef Testosterone in his final UFC match, getting his 33rd victory in a row and retiring. He's an inspiration to us all. I pray that we all can one day be half the beef and half the testosterone that he is. Now about my day today. I'm still in college, I'm in my senior year, and I'm required to take this one senior class to graduate, and today we had an extremely big presentation that we've been working on for a couple months. The presentation was more or less just giving a research proposal to the class, presenting it to them, and I never dress up, but I had to for this. I needed to look professional and spiffy, but I don't do that. I usually just wear a solid color t-shirt, flip-flops, and basketball shorts, so I don't really have any dress-up clothes. And also, if you've watched any of my videos from the last 2 days, you'll know that I have laryngitis, so it's difficult for me to talk. It's a lot better right now, but it wasn't when I did the presentation, so this was just a huge catastrophe. So I went to my wardrobe this morning and I picked out some pants I've never seen before. They probably haven't seen action since 1974, and I didn't realize that they were just way too big on me. At the time, they felt like they'd fit and work nicely, so I rolled with them. By the time I get to class, I know I've made a mistake, because these pants have been falling off me the entire walk there, but I'd already made my bed, so it was time to jerk off in it. I get to class and I'm already sweating profusely because of the whole pants ordeal. I'm going to have to be walking around during the presentation, which is going to make the pants subject to falling down, so I didn't really have any plans on how to combat that. My group gets called, so my friend and I went up there. He delivered his part of the presentation, and the whole time I was just brainstorming on how I can prevent myself from getting fucking nude in front of the class, giving them all the cock meat special, and eventually I came up with this plan. I was going to spread my legs, not too much, I didn't want anyone to really notice, but a little bit, you know, a little spreadage, butter on bread type shit, spread lightly. I didn't want to go up there and make it look like I'd shit my pants and just waddle around. That was the only plan I had, so I gave it the green light in my head. My turn to present, and I executed Operation Hidden in Plain Sight to great success. From what I could tell, they were none the wiser. But this doesn't mean the presentation was going well by any means, because my voice still sounded like Lex Luthor was talking through a ham radio. And every now and then, a fucking wave of phlegm would just crash into my throat and close it up entirely, so it would sound like I just got waterboarded for a moment. And then my voice I'd have to clear my throat, and it sounded like Satan was trying to interject his 2 cents into my presentation. And it was just genuinely uncomfortable to listen to for the entire class, I imagine. And I still wasn't out of the woods with the whole pants situation either, because no matter what I was doing, they were just gradually falling off my waist, so I had to keep increasing the distance between my two legs, just increasing how far they were spread, until I caught myself. I was like, holy shit, I look like Van Damme when he was doing splits on 2 trucks. So then I just gave up, scrambled behind the podium, and just delivered the rest of the presentation from there, and just decided to accept the points lost. Because I looked at the professor, and he knew something was awry. He was doing some weird shit with his eyebrows, and he looked genuinely uncomfortable, so I was just like, damn, well, if you can't handle the dick, get out of the classroom. I just accepted that I was fucked. So then, I was just gonna roll with it. If my pants were gonna fall, they were gonna fall. I was the chef, and if Gordon Ramsay was telling me to serve up a Wiener Wellington to the class, then I was gonna do it with a smile on my face. I managed to struggle through my part of the presentation and tossed it back to my friend so we could take it home and be done with this. But he threw a curveball at me. He hit me with something I couldn't have ever expected to happen. The worst case scenario happened. Our subject was stretching, and he asked me to demonstrate a toe touch static stretch. Now, if you're unfamiliar with a toe touch static stretch, it's where you bend down and you touch your toes and hold it for 30 seconds. I wasn't mad at him for it or anything. He couldn't have known there was a war being waged in my nether region. He just couldn't have possibly guessed that the Battle of Little Big Penis was happening downstairs. But still, the spotlight was on me. Time froze. I stood there, bewildered, confused, and yet overcome with a feeling of serenity. I stopped and just thought to myself, after all that I've done, all that I've worked for, this is how it all ends. I knew these pants would surely fall if I did this stretch, so I did the only thing I could in such a short amount of time. I discreetly placed the left side of my hand into my anus and pushed the pants into my ass crack and pinched as hard as I could with my ass cheeks to lock them into place. I took a step forward, and I did the stretch. I touched my toes. Ass clenched firmly, firmer than I have ever clenched my ass before, and I held it for 10, for 20, for 30. I had completed the stretch. The pants stayed intact. I walked back to the podium a proud, victorious man, and nobody in the class knew what an achievement that was. And then the presentation concluded. That was the biggest part of my day. Everything else was pretty standard, boring stuff. And yeah, that's it. See ya.